Right now, today, there's thousands of brand new tractors sitting on dealer lots all across this country. Not trade-ins, mind you. Not somebody's old, worn-out machine that's been rode hard. Brand new, fresh off the truck. Some of them ain't even got enough hours on them to call them broke-in proper. And they've been sitting there 400, 500, even 700 days without a single soul coming along to buy them. That's an awful lot of steel and an awful lot of money just baking out in a gravel lot, doing nothing for nobody. Makes a man's stomach turn just thinking about it. So you might be asking yourself, well, what happens to a $90,000 tractor when nobody wants it? Now that's not a simple thing, son. There's a whole chain of events a dealer's got to go through trying to move that machine, one step right after another. And by the time I walk you through the whole chain, you'll understand why this business wears men down before their time. Pay close attention to the part about dealer trades, because that's the part folks don't talk about, and they ought to. Now, before any of this makes sense, you got to understand one thing first. A tractor dealer doesn't rightly own most of what's sitting on his lot. Not really. He borrows the money to bring that tractor in. They call it floor plan financing. It's a line of credit, comes from a bank, or from the manufacturer's own finance arm, your John Deere Financial, your Kubota credit. The lender holds the title till the thing sells. For 60, 90 days, the interest is low, sometimes nothing at all. Sounds fine, don't it? But once that window shuts, the interest starts piling up, and it compounds, same as any debt you let sit too long. We're talking rates that can hurt a small dealership bad if the man running it ain't careful. Even a point or two extra can cost a dealer group millions in a year once you add it all up across a whole lot. So the second that tractor rolls off the truck, the clock's already running. Either it sells quick, or it costs that dealer money every single day it just sits there. Now you might wonder why a dealer would order more tractors than he can sell in the first place. Truth is, he don't have a whole lot of say in it. Manufacturers set sales targets, and a dealer who don't take his share risks losing his standing with that brand, his territory, his incentives, sometimes the whole arrangement, gone. So dealers order ahead based on forecasts, and those forecasts get drawn up during the good years when crop prices are up and farmers are spending. But farming runs in cycles, always has, always will. A couple bad harvests, interest rates jump, and the orders that made sense a year and a half back are sitting there now like a sack of rocks on the dealer's shoulders. He's holding inventory sized for a boom right in the middle of a slowdown nobody saw coming. And that's just where the trouble starts. Once that low-interest window closes and the tractor's still sitting there, the dealer's got to start cutting price. Rebates, cheap financing, cashback. Maybe he throws in a loader or a bucket just to sweeten the deal. You might see $5,000, $10,000, sometimes $15,000 knocked off a mid-sized tractor. Now that sounds good for the buyer, and it can be, if you go about it the right way. But here's what most folks don't know. If you're looking at a tractor that's a model year or two old and it's still sitting unsold, you ought to be asking for at least 15 to 20% off just to make up for what it's already lost, sitting idle that long. Anything less than that, and you ain't really getting a deal, you're covering the dealer's mistake for him. If you're finding this useful so far, go on and hit that like button for me. Costs you nothing, and it helps this channel keep going. Now, when cutting the price still ain't enough, the dealer's got another trick up his sleeve. He'll turn that tractor into a demo unit or loan it out to a farmer whose own machine is in the shop. Now that makes sense on its face. A man's tractor breaks down, he needs something to keep working with while it's getting fixed, and there's a brand new one sitting right there nobody's bought. Salesmen use them too, hauling them out to field days so folks can try one before they buy. Dealers like this arrangement for a couple reasons. First off, the manufacturer will often pay a little bit each month for putting a tractor into demo service, which helps cover some of that interest piling up. Second, once it's got some hours on it, the dealer can call it a demo instead of new, and a bigger discount don't look quite so desperate. But here's where some dealers get a little less than honest with you. They won't tell you that tractor spent half a year being drove around as a demo before it ever made it to the sales floor. They'll list it as basically new and leave that part right out. So you always ask to see the hour meter and the real history before you sign a thing. A machine with 180 hours on it wasn't sitting quiet in a barn. Somebody was out there running it and not always taking the care of it they should have. If the discounts and the loaner arrangement still don't move it, the dealer's got one more card to play before things get serious. What they call a dealer trade. Now the idea behind it's simple enough. A big four-wheel drive row crop tractor that ain't selling up in the Dakotas might be just exactly what some fella down in Texas cotton country's been hunting for.
A little compact tractor sitting idle up in cattle country might sell in a week down where folks just need something to mow with or move a few bales. So dealers within the same brand trade their slow sellers back and forth, hoping the machine does better in a new home. Manufacturers like this because it spreads the inventory toward where the actual demand is. But what nobody talks about is the cost of it. Every time that tractor gets put on a truck and shipped to another dealer, somebody's paying to load it, haul it, unload it. That tractor might get put on a truck 2-3 times before it ever finds a buyer. Our meter might still read close to nothing, but that number don't tell you a thing about all the handling and moving it's been through. And if it still don't sell after all that, well, that's when the losses really start to add up. When nothing else works, the dealer sends it to auction. And son, this is where it starts to hurt. There's closed auctions, just for licensed dealers, and open ones where anybody can show up, including fellas who buy cheap and turn around and resell for a profit. Here's the hard part of it. The minute that tractor crosses the auction block, it's considered a used machine no matter what anybody tells you. Don't matter that it's only got 10 hours on it and never had an owner. That classification cuts the value right then and there. And then there's fees stacked on top. Listing fees, hauling, the auctioneer's cut. So that dealer's already behind before the bidding even starts. And the men bidding at these sales are out there hunting a bargain, so the bids come in low. A tractor sold at auction usually don't make the dealer a dime, tends to land closer to trade-in value, which can run 30 to 40% below what the dealer paid for it to begin with. A $90,000 tractor might bring $55,000 at auction. After fees and hauling, that dealer's out $20,000 or more on one single machine. Multiply that across a dozen tractors on one lot, and that's real money walking right out the door. If any of this is hitting close to home for you, go ahead and hit that like button too. Costs nothing, and it helps other folks find this video. Now, before giving up and sending a tractor to auction, some manufacturers got one more trick, selling it at a discount to rental companies. Rental outfits are always hunting for inventory below regular price, and the manufacturer will let them have a batch of slow-moving tractors at wholesale well under what a farmer would normally pay. That gets it off the books quick, with at least some money coming back in. But here's the catch, and it's a doozy. When those rental tractors come back out a year or two later, they hit the used market all at once. That flood of inventory hurts the resale value of the man who bought that very same model new at full price. You pay full sticker for a tractor, and 6 months later, a whole batch of nearly identical rental units show up used for 40% less, and your own trade-in value takes a hit it didn't earn one bit of. Fleet sales don't solve the unsold inventory problem, son. They just shove the cost onto somebody else down the road who had nothing to do with the original decision. And for the machines that go through all of that, the discounting, the loaner program, the dealer trades, the auction, the rental fleets, and still can't find a buyer, well, there's only one place left for them. They get parked in storage, big outdoor lots, sometimes on old industrial ground built to hold hundreds, even thousands of machines, just sitting there indefinitely. There's really only one honest word for a place like that. It's a graveyard for equipment. Those tractors set out exposed to the weather, and they slowly fall apart. Tires get flat spots from sitting too long in one place. Batteries run down and die. Seals dry out and crack. Rust starts up where it's got no business starting. A tractor's built to be run, not left standing in a field for 2 years. One that sets 600, 700 days starts developing problems that wouldn't exist at all if some farmer had just bought it and put it to work the way the good Lord and the manufacturer both intended. So what happens to these machines in the end? Some get shipped overseas to markets that run a little different. Some get parted out or scrapped outright, written off as the cost of doing business. Every so often a manufacturer will run a buyback to help the dealer recover something, and some quietly end up in a company's own test fleet or employee program off the market for good. So here's what I want you to understand, and listen close now. This whole business depends on the notion that everything eventually sells. Manufacturers keep building, dealers keep ordering, lenders keep financing all of it. But when crop prices fall, or interest rates squeeze a farmer's budget tight, or a brand gets itself a bad reputation for breaking down, the whole system starts to strain at the seams. All those unsold tractors are a weight these dealers can't carry forever. Prices are still setting near record levels, financing's gotten expensive for everybody, and some brands have lost a fair piece of trust with buyers these last few years. End result is a growing pile of brand new machines setting unsold, even with money knocked off the price. And it don't sit evenly across the country, neither. Some regions are carrying a heavier load than others, depending on what's grown there and how the last few seasons treated the folks working that ground. A bad cotton year hits different than a bad corn year, and a dealership in one county can be sitting on a pile of unsold inventory while another one 3 states over is selling tractors just fine. That's part of why you see so many dealer trades happening across whole regions. It ain't just one brand struggling, it's whole pockets of the country where the numbers stopped working for a spell. Now, if you're a buyer who knows what he's doing, that's actually good news for you. If you can be flexible on model year and you're willing to dig in and negotiate hard on price, there's deals out there right now that would have seemed downright unreasonable just a few years back. But for the dealers and manufacturers setting on all that unsold steel, a reckoning's coming sooner or later. You can only discount it, loan it out, shuffle it around, and auction it off for so long before the losses get bigger than that business can carry. That's everything I've got for you today. If you'd like to hear more of this kind of thing, go on and subscribe and hit that like button. Costs you nothing, but it helps other folks find this video. We'll keep digging into the things this industry don't talk about much. I'll see you next time.